Hi out there. I hope this finds you and your family doing well through these challenging times. I'm Marci, and I lead the Insights and Category Management Group here at Ventura Foods. Today we're going to focus on what's next. What I can tell you is that we're not going to go back to what we were experiencing in February and March. Those days are long behind us because new behaviors have been adopted in the last 8 months. And the reality is that there's a lot of consumer psychology that has shifted because of the changes in behaviors that we've had to build into our lives. Consumer safety is one of the first ones, and I know you know this, that people want to feel safe when they go into our restaurants. And the reality is that we have to be overt in showing them that we're being safe. What that entails is us wiping down surfaces, wiping down the drive-through, keeping tidy, making sure everybody has a mask on. If you have a dine-in option, ensure that your patrons are coming in masked and they're taking them off when appropriate, and when they're leaving, they're putting them back on as appropriate, because that's going to make all the diners around them feel more safe. Looking at the total experience, consumers are rapidly adopting this touchless and frictionless area. And one of the most important pieces here is having a digital or a website option for people to go ahead and order. They really like this, and it is something that consumers, including older consumers, have adopted very, very quickly as we have gone through this pandemic. We used to think back in February that the restaurant down the street or across the street was our competition. That's just not it any longer. So when we open up our third-party apps, if you're on a third-party app, it's all those restaurants in queue that are within a 5-mile range or a 1-mile range, whatever we choose. And so we have to consider, how do we show up against that growing competition? And then secondarily, we're seeing things like ghost kitchens crop up, where we're seeing restaurants and commissaries get into the business through third-party delivery apps. And this is going to really create choice for consumers in terms of the types of cuisines that they have offered to them. Much similar to the economic crisis of 2008 and 2009, where we saw food trucks emerge, this is really going to be the era of the ghost kitchen. And the other piece is retailers. So one of the things that we also have to consider is this idea of how retail grocery stores are getting into the game of food service. The reality is that they've got a lot of food service assets in their stores. They've got wide bands of footprints, and what they're doing is they're really marshaling against that area of potential growth for them. Because of the newly adopted consumer behaviors of trying to reduce touch, consumers are relying more on their grocery stores and that ready-made deli. We also need to think about being creative. So when the virus first broke out, many restaurants were just trying to empty their pantries because consumer demand was such that we weren't able to get those pantry staples that we really wanted. And so what we were doing is we were going ahead and selling our pantry because there was demand, but we were also trying to reduce our inventory. And so one recent example that I've seen here locally is a restaurant called Lazy Dog Cafe. And they have creatively put together what they're calling TV dinners, and they're doing a little bit of a retro spin on it. So they've taken some of their cafe classics, and these are actual frozen dinners in aluminum pans that you take home and you cook. They cook for 20 to 25 minutes, and consumers can then enjoy that cuisine at home. And it's not just a takeout experience, it's something that they can actually put in their freezers. What's really great about these is it provides the consumer the option of when they want to eat that and how they want to eat it. And what it does for Lazy Dog is it keeps the awareness of their restaurant in that consumer's home. And so be creative when you think about if you're going to do some kind of takeout or if you're going to do some kind of grab and go. Just understand where the consumer is. Maybe ask a couple questions of your consumers as they come in if you have an idea. And then finally, don't forget to rapidly evolve your menu for your consumers. By changing up a signature dish that you might have, you may be appealing to a new craving. You may appeal to a whole different consumer. And you never know until you try it. And maybe just, again, ask your consumers what's going on. But I would look at bold, big flavors. We've been locked up for a while in our homes or wherever we've sheltered in place. And the reality is that we're tired of our cooking. Most consumers only have 7 to 8 meals in their repertoires. And so that's why we're looking for these alternative solutions, something that I can't get in my own home. I just want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for your perseverance, and I want to thank you for representing the food industry the way you do and the way you show up each and every day. Have a great day and stay safe.